What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. And welcome to week one, the first Saturday of the college football season. A reminder, on the Discord channel, I will be hosting a live chat, audio chat, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time for 30 minutes, breaking down all the latest line movement, all the latest news. This will be sort of a talk show format, so you guys can come on and ask me any questions. You want to get my take on a game. You want to get my take on a line move. If you want to question any of my bets that I'm making today, feel free. Got a lot of good stuff going on the podcast here for today. So that's at 8 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We will be live on our Discord channel. To join the Discord channel, it is bettingpros.com/chat. Enter that into your browser. bettingpros.com/chat. Free, always free. Half-hour breakdown of the card of the slate for week number 1. Yes, we will talk about Notre Dame and Texas A&M. I do not have a play on that game, but we'll talk about it if you want. I do a play on Penn State, West Virginia. I have 2 plays on that game. We'll get into Clemson, Georgia. We'll get into all the big games happening around the country, picks, plays, and discussions happening at 8 o'clock Eastern. 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on our Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. Okay, so to talk about last night, it is a 2-1 night, once again, up 0.9 units. What stinks is that the TCU game was there for a 3-0 sweep. Backdoor field goal by Stanford. Just a loss. Stinks. Strategically, I'm not going to get angry. All right? Strategically, I'm not going to get mad at TCU, but we get FAU. They lose by 6. That was an easy play there. We bought the extra half a point just in case, didn't need it. And then Western Michigan, 28-14. That's kind of what I said yesterday, right? 28-14. Western Michigan right there. It's their Super Bowl. I didn't trust Wisconsin to cover 24 points. They came nowhere near covering 24 points. So 2-1 day, back-to-back 2-1 days on Thursday and Friday. That's a 4-2 start to the weekend for us here today as we head towards Saturday. Now, I've already given you 3 bets. Clemson plus 14.5. We bought that up off 14 to 14.5. It's now 12. Major CLV there with Clemson against Georgia on the road. Some people think Georgia's going to house them. I think Clemson stays close. We gave you Miami minus 2.5. That number is now 3. So move on the Hurricanes here on the road at Florida. So that number's 3. We have 2.5. And then we came in with the under 51 for Penn State and West Virginia. That number is now 50 or 50.5 at most books for Penn State and West Virginia. So the line move, we were ahead of the line. We beat the closing line in all 3 games, okay? In all 3 games. Now, I'm going to give you 3 more plays here on the podcast, okay? We've already given you 1, 2, 3. I never have 6 bets going in one sport. I'm going to have 6 bets going in one sport because college football is back, and I like all 6 of these plays. So we're going to jump in here on all 6 today. Let's start with Penn State and West Virginia. This stat stunned me, and this is why it probably will lose. But Penn State, since 2020, when they've been favored between 6 and 24 points, Penn State is 16-0-1 ATS. Favored by 6 to 24 points. Why? James Franklin is the ultimate cover machine for the alumni, including last year in this game where he punched in a touchdown, which I'm pretty sure on the Daily Juice, we bet against Penn State in that game, and that screwed us. I think either that or the under. We may have bet the under in that game, and that over came in because of what James Franklin did. We talked on my other show, The Bostonian versus the Book, to a guy who was a former West Virginia athletic director and a guy who does media now in West Virginia, and he told us that there's been a loop running in the clubhouse locker room for West Virginia of that touchdown by Penn State last year. They canceled school on Friday in Morgantown because of all the festivities going on for Penn State and West Virginia. I can't get this stat out of my head. 16-0-1. James Franklin covers for the alumni. Maybe they're up by 4. He'll kick a field goal. Threw up by 7. This number was as high as 9. It's now down to 7.5. Let's keep buying it down. You guys might get 7, but for me, I want Penn State -7. It's -125 to buy it down. I'm doing that. Alt number, another one of these alt numbers. Penn State -7 for -125. So 1.25 units down to win 1 unit on Penn State -7. Why? Again, that number in James Franklin. We saw it. Colorado tried to cover. You could make an argument that Stanford covered. They kicked it and they covered for their alumni. They were at home. Now, I actually do think if you're trying to win the game, kick the field goal, onside kick. That's the right play. So I'm not as angry. I was furious at Deion Sanders. I'm not furious at Stanford, even though it kicked us in the tail at that. That stinks. But 2-1's 2-1. Should have been 3-0. But unfortunately, TCU's defense just couldn't stop Stanford. And they kick a field goal because, again, I hate the play. But if you're trying to win the game, that's the right play. Kick the field goal, save the clock, onside kick. You know, I don't hate the strategic decision, but it stinks because they lost our bet. They won by 7. We laid 8.5. That stinks. But so 2 bets on Penn State and West Virginia. Penn State -7 at -125 and under 51.5 at -110. Now, Georgia Clemson plays at the same time. That's +14.5. We'll see what that number closes here. A lot of steam on Clemson. Uh-oh. Not in love with that. Miami -2. As I said, that's up to 2. That's up to 3 now here for that. I have an FCS versus FBS bet that I've made. Weber State is taking on Washington. Washington's got an entirely new coaching staff. Washington has 21 of 22 starters new. And this is game 1. Now, I understand that Weber State is not tremendous, but their quarterback isn't awful. Their running back isn't bad. Their defense isn't great, but they've got a couple of guys to catch the football, but they're going to run the ball. Run the ball, burn clock. Okay? Run the ball, burn clock. Their defense isn't great, but what is Washington? Will Rogers is the quarterback. I didn't like him at Mississippi State. Now he's the quarterback of Washington. Everyone's new. The coach is new. Everything is brand new. And they're laying 26 points to Weber State. No. I can't do it. I really can't do it. I know Weber State's not amazing. I know they're not a bunch of world beaters here, but I just think, for me, I think Weber State's got a shot here to keep the game close. In particular, if the under comes in, again, I don't know what's going on with Washington. I have no idea what Washington is. I just know that I don't see them covering a 26-point spread. Weber State, +26. Circa and DraftKings are the 2 books to have this number, to have this bet overnight. You can bet it there. Weber State, +26. Up against Washington here. I know it's an FBS versus FCS bout, but we took North Dakota State up against Colorado. That cashed. Let's take Weber State +26 against Washington here for 1.1 units. And finally, UNLV at Houston. We're on the win total over 7 for UNLV. It would be awesome for them to win this game against Houston. Okay? Houston, 4-8 last year. Coaching change. Complete mess. Okay? Numbers up to 3.5. Why? I don't agree with this line move. Barry Odom, year 2. They got a shot to make some big noise. They went to the Mountain West Championship game last year. They lost. They lost their quarterback. Okay, that's horrible. Okay? But they kept their offensive coordinator who's done this go-go offense that they call it here. Ricky White's back. Ricky White is tremendous. He's a little undersized, but they gave him a big NIL deal to stick around. 8 touchdowns last year, nearly 1,500 yards receiving. Ricky White's his offense. He is the passing attack. Now, we'll see what the defense looks like because their secondary was bad, like bad. Houston, I mean, what's Houston? I don't know what Houston is. They got to figure this whole thing out. They got a new head coach in Willie Fritz. I mean, does he have the time? Has he had the time to step in and make this team better? I don't know. I am a big fan of Barry Odom. I'm a big fan of UNLV. I'm taking the 3.5 points. Give me UNLV plus 3.5 for 1.1 units. I think UNLV can win the game. Sprinkle money line. I think UNLV can absolutely win this game, but I'm going to take the points at plus 3.5. Maybe Houston wins it on a last-second field goal. We cover the 3.5. The hook matters to me, okay? Get 3.5. That really, really matters to me. I like UNLV. Give me the Rebels at plus 3.5 for 1.1 units. All right? So we got a lot of things going here today for us. Reminder on the Discord channel chat, 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time for 30 minutes breaking down all the picks and plays. Next weekend, we'll have the Sunday morning live stream on Sunday where we'll start to get in teasers and long teasers and fun stuff on Sunday, but strictly just a college football weekend for us so far. Here are the 6 plays that we are making here for today. Penn State, West Virginia, under 51.5. That's from earlier in the week. Penn State -7. We're buying it down to -125. Miami -2.5. That number now is 3. Gave that out earlier in the week at -110. Clemson plus 14.5 is an alt number, -132 there. That number now is 12. Weber State plus 26. I like Weber State. Not going to win the game, but Weber State against Washington. Keep the game close at plus 26 for 1.1 units. And UNLV plus 3.5 on the road at Houston at -110. If you notice, only one under I'm playing here. I don't like playing unders in the first week of college football because I don't know what these teams really are defensively as of yet. I'm doing one under. That's it. Penn State and West Virginia at under 51.5. The rest are side bets for us here today. 6 plays. I never made 6 plays. I never bet 2 bets in one game either very often, but I like Penn State. I like that stat. 16-0-1 for James Franklin when the spread is between 6 and 24 in their favorites since 2020. It's hard to overlook that stat when it comes to Penn State. I'll talk to you later on today in our Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat for our live chat coming up. Looking forward to talking to all you guys and hearing from you on that Discord channel chat today. This is going to be a fun day. Buckle up, hydrate, and let's have some fun. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. Every morning, the Daily Juice Podcast, presented by bettingpros.com.